Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant slash rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. Knock, knock, knock. Let's see what we have. Okay, Cancer. Hopefully you all are doing well. Giving this a spin. Okay, so I'm gonna look at the card first. Trying to do the card first in every reading so I don't forget. Okay, so we have the Hermit card. This is from the Thoth deck. And the Hermit, the light bearer, the, carrying around the little lantern. We have Cerberus. He's looking both forward and backwards. And we have the Orphic egg up there with the snake coiled, and kind of the beginning of the creative birth. And so especially with my favorite Cancers, I have to believe that this is kind of a regular state, I would think, for a lot of Cancers, is to be going into these modes of kind of solitary living, or kind of stepping away from the social aspects of your life, maybe kind of rearranging your life in such a way so you are not you're doing work that doesn't involve a lot of interactions with other people. Maybe like in a career or field where you're maybe like working remotely, or kind of, if you're on a team, there's limited communication. It's kind of, just here and there. Probably not really like a customer facing job, or something like this. Okay. And kind of with the past readings, I know that maybe it was 2 readings ago, I can't really remember exactly, but I know that Cancer was going into a cycle of doing some creative work, some kind of creative project, working with other people. And I know that was going to be kind of out of the norm a little bit, but you had a lot of high hopes for it. Now, I think we're getting into a place where maybe it's coming to an end. Maybe you're starting to need a little break. I'm seeing kind of a person. Now, I want to talk about this first. I'm seeing an apple, okay? And usually an apple is an indicator of good health, okay? This is a very well-formed, symbol. It is really kind of thick. The tea leaves are really packed together there. So I think that you're really in a place of feeling well physically. This is also in that emotional psychic realm. So I think that you're feeling well and together emotionally and psychically as well. But I think that there's just been a shift in how you're wanting to exist right now. I think you're going into one of your more maybe natural states of being, and that might be a little more isolated, maybe a little more solitary, focusing on things that you can do by yourself. I see this kind of person, it looks like they're kind of falling. It almost looks like they're falling into a bed. And to me, this really, I get this, this feeling of almost like when you have a bit of sleep paralysis, but not necessarily that. I think it's more just you are feeling so overly tired, worn out, burnt out a little bit, that you really are desiring some rest, some separation from what you have been doing, taking a break, maybe just for a few days. But I think that this is important to follow your intuition about taking this time to maybe just do things that are not necessarily for the purpose of being productive. Kind of activities that feel grounding, restful, energizing, good for your health. And I want to see. This one really, so I see kind of this strange, it almost looks like a dance of two different kinds of night beasts. And what do I mean by night beasts? Well, not necessarily something like a demon or any kind of being that really, is easily identifiable to some category of fae or trickster or cryptid or anything like this, but kind of just bizarre, surreal types of things the mind makes up. I'm thinking of the artist Bosch and his I think it's called The Garden of the Light, but any of his paintings really. And they just have these very weird kinds of little beings doing all kinds of things in different scenarios and in different kinds of engagement. And I kind of just feel like this is something like you're in almost like it's not a nightmare, it's not a night terror, but it's a dreamy state where things are very uncanny, kind of very exaggerated. The impressions feel distorted, kind of glitchy a little bit. But there's kind of it's like a crawling silliness in the dark, these little flashes of bizarre little beings just kind of lurking around. But it doesn't feel scary. I think that really, I feel like this is like, you're being drawn into a place where some of your creative senses they're heightened, and I think some of the inspirations will emerge. I feel like maybe because you have been actively executing some of the work that you've been doing, you have been out of the conceptual stage for a while, and you've been kind of doing the actual rendering and having to work with other people, collaborate. I feel that there's a sense of wanting to shut everything off, mute it, shut it off, kind of sit in a dark room, be half asleep, kind of letting these kinds of absurd invocations, dance around the room. And I feel like this is a state of mind that you enjoy. Kind of this bizarro land. I think that you really like being in this kind of dreamy fantasy place. It feels unrestricted. And I think that, it's, of course, with the way that life is for all of us, it's hard to carve out some time for this. But I think that it is almost like you feel like you won't be able to go on with these things that you have to do. Your mundane work and your creative work and domestic duties and so on, if you don't have these kinds of reprieves, so that you may kind of just explore the depths of your mind, of the universe, of the abyss, whatever it is. And so I think that you should try to find some time to do that soon. Or I think if you don't, you're going to be getting pretty ornery or cross with others, and that's never a good thing, to get a Cancer into that grumpy, short and with a sharp tongue, right? It's hard to get you all back out of that alignment. So better to stop it before it happens. So I think it's important to maybe think about taking this time for yourself, if you are able. Okay, I see kind of a doorway. It looks like a garden doorway to me. Almost like, what is that called? Like one of those trellis doorways where the plants grow over the top. It looks like there's some kind of bird perched on top. It seems to me that you are being drawn outside as well. I see you in kind of an interior place in the dark, doing these kinds of magical vision workings, but I also see you being drawn to the day side as well. And I wonder if it would be maybe of use to you to think about doing some mindfulness practices while you are taking a little break for yourself. Maybe like a mindfulness walk, going out into nature, noticing how you feel, noticing the things around you, having that kind of mindfulness observation of things growing, things that are maybe coming to the end of their life cycle, or maybe they're beginning. Noticing the way things smell, what the sun feels like, really taking in some of that warmth. And if you maybe are somebody who keeps a garden or likes to plant things, maybe taking an afternoon to plant some new flowers or some kind of vegetable, so that you can, I don't know, experiment with something new, you know, kind of see the life cycle of a plant that you have not experienced in person before. But also, you know, I mean, if you already keep a garden, you're probably out there daily. But maybe if you have plants that don't need tending often, maybe getting something that will bring you outside more often, even if it's just for a few minutes. Going out and watering in the morning, or checking all your plant babies out, seeing how everybody's doing. I think that can be a really beneficial practice, especially if you do some kind of work that keeps you indoors a lot. Just having a reason that you have to go outside and be out there and touch the ground with your feet and, you know, experience some water and sunshine and, you know, these kinds of things. Okay, so we have a couple of three. We have 1, 2, and 3 L's. So it seems that L might be an important letter for you this week. We also have, and I was trying to look at this. It looks like a J and an E. So something with a J and an E. Okay. And then when we turn this to look at it this way, it looks like we have almost, it looks like maybe like a guardian angel or something that has a wing. And I see that kind of gazing up here at this formation. And I was trying to decide really what this is. It kind of has, it looks almost like some kind of character from like Pokemon or something. But I kind of, it seems to me that there might arise some kind of situation where things seem to be going missing, almost kind of like a trickster spirit that is kind of hanging around. But I wonder, because we have this angel figure kind of gazing upwards, and it almost looks like it's looking at a comet. It kind of almost looks like a comet in that direction. So I wonder if there's going to be some kind of quick kind of passing through the atmosphere, emotional situation that kind of just comes out of nowhere, and as soon as it enters the scene, it's already gone. Like, it's already burning out. I think really in this coupling here, it seems to me that it might be something to look out for, might be something to kind of guard yourself against. I think, you know, kind of that psychic self-defense, emotional self-defense, not letting the thing get too close to you, not becoming too attached to it, because I don't think it's going to last very long. I think it will come and go quickly. That might be romantic. It might just be somebody coming through your life. I don't know. But I would just be wary, or at least be conscious of any kind of intense kind of relation, but, you know, kind of burns out very quickly. We also have this one. It looks like a person who is fishing. Okay, and almost now I'm looking at this, maybe it looks like a fish almost. And so this maybe has something to do with somebody coming into your life quickly and leaving. Maybe and you know, it's kind of that trying to catch the fish, or, you know, catch the person, a person that you're interested in, or, you know, I don't know, maybe it could be coming about some kind of financial gain. Whatever it is, I just think that there should be some amount of mindfulness. I don't see this working out for you. And I have a feeling of it being so brief. So, let's see. I also want to look at, we have this, it looks like a swan. I'm trying to figure out, it looks like a swan, and then it looks like some kind of dog head, like it's going to eat it, or it's looking into the mouth of a dog. And so the swan usually indicates some kind of romantic entanglement, some kind of love that has longevity. But with this one, it's a single swan. It looks like it is looking into some treacherous territory there. All those teeth. And this thing has its mouth wide open, ready to bite its head right off. So, again, I think you just have to be mindful of whatever is going on in those realms of love and relation. If you are already in a relationship, maybe be mindful of, you know, being distracted by somebody who is maybe throwing themselves at you. If you are not in a relationship but are dating, this could be somebody that you have been dating recently that, you know, you seem interested in them. They have some of the qualities that might seem to align with what you are looking for. But I feel that there might be kind of a switch in this person. So if you find yourself in a place of pressure or some kind of, well, let's, you know, the things that they say, traveling together, financial situations, if there's something, you know, just some kind of stressful problem that arises where you kind of are forced into a situation to, you know, have to deal with this together. Maybe the car breaks down, something like this. Just really notice how this person behaves, how they make you feel, how they treat others in the situation, and kind of, you know, obviously make an educated decision about if you're going to move forward with them. Because often, you know, as we know, when things don't go right, when things are difficult, that's kind of when we see what people are really like. Not always, right? We all have a lot of sides to us, but maybe It's how we see, it's when we see what people are really like in such an extreme, are we willing to accept that, right? Or is there extreme something that we can, you know, relate to or kind of work with in our own extreme, okay? Or is it just a disaster, right? So let's take a look at this. So it looks like we have an amount of how do I say it? Kind of a blessing from the fire element. I feel that whatever it is that you've been working on, if you take this rest, if you give yourself this time, there will be more complementary ideas and clear kinds of paths forward that will emerge, and this thing will really be forged in such a way that I think it might be one of the best things that you ever do within your work, maybe your creative work, hobby, crafting, you know, whatever it is, whatever you are creating. If you do this right and if you treat yourself well, I think that this really could prove to be one of your best projects. Okay, I'm going to call it for this reading, and I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. I try not to pick favorites, but you all know Cancers are very dear to my heart. So much so that I really hoped that my daughter would stay in a little bit longer. So she's a Gemini, so of course now I love Geminis very much as well, but I was hoping she'd be a Cancer. But anyways, I'm so thankful. Always so honored to bring the messages, and if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps me get into the algorithm, and that helps the channel grow. If you have not subscribed, please think about doing so, and hitting the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos come out. You can watch all of your other placements. You can cross watch. You can watch every single reading if you want. I know some of you do. There's a few of you that do, and I appreciate you. And other than that, leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what's going on with you. Let me know what your creative project is, or whatever you're making, whatever kind of business you have going on. I'd love to hear about it. All right, Cancer. I thank you, and we will talk again really soon.